You didn't ask the town for enough money.
Oh, you did the thing I asked, you, right? The audit. The workers' council?
Yes.
Okay. I seen some letter came through by it and I try not to read it. I'm just like, don't get away from me. It's not mine. Okay.
You didn't ask the town for enough money.
You did it.
All right.
$50.
Thank you.
Okay, hold on. You have this new one.
No. Don't do it when
Be
we're
safe
live.
today.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Nothing.
You have you have 47. I hope you didn't hit me because I want.
There's too many witnesses in this room.
You hit me.
Oh.
And these, one is two.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
She could figure out how to do it. She would have done it already. God.
It's something.
When I open.
No response.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm showing 6 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Ask those who can to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This time, I am looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hi.
Opposed, motion carries. Comments from the public. So you guys are all here under special appearances, I believe. Okay, so we will move on. I have Rick Larson and NHS.
Hi, so what do we do that to, like, everybody here, okay, sorry.
Okay, so we are gonna be doing we wanna try and do,
A money raffle.
yeah, a money raffle to put up a new flagpole at our football field. The one we have right now is like a wooden pole, and we just wanna like get it updated, like maybe move it to like a more like local spot. It's like all the way across the field. And we've been working on this like throughout the summer kind of, but we need like more like,
Oh.
yeah, like more like income.
It's gonna cost a lot.
Yeah.
So we're thinking of doing $10 a ticket and we'll have 250 tickets. It'll be a total of 2,500. And for the first prize, it would be $500. And then second and third, it would be a Dragon Den certificate. It'd be $50 and $25.
And then we're thinking about doing it like from like around the start of basketball season until like February or like whenever we run out of tickets, kind of. We would have the tickets printed out at the leader.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
So whatever money we make is going to be used for the flagpole. And once that's paid for in full, we're going to use the rest of the money, if this is passed, to help fund a tree project for the village of Siren. So a guy wants to come in and there was a grant actually received to the village of $22,000 to plant trees in the village, which had previously been destroyed by the tornado. So he asked for our help to fundraise for the project and help with just planting and maintenance and stuff. So we thought this would be a really good idea for fundraising for, first of all, the flagpole, and second of all, the tree project, which would be great for the community. So
And it's like, and we do it for the NHS large group project, So it would be during, like, we would help plant the trees during like the Earth Day project where we always go out and like do things across town. It would happen then, like we would start planting the trees.
What would you guys just, we guys help pay buy trees or just help buy supplies to help
So it's a.
or
whole-
whatever he's
Yeah,
needing?
it's a whole process, like there's several things that they have to pay for. Shipping the trees, you know, buying them, of course, and. They'll have other workers there too, which will also probably receive pay, so. All of those are factors, which we will be paying for, or helping pay for. So,
How much is the flagpole? Do you guys have one priced out, like, do you know what the cost of just the flagpole?
We don't have it really priced out yet.
Like a guess.
we were thinking around 1,000.
Yeah, that's what we were like,
I think it was
because we
around.
called them last summer and they said around 1,000, but it was,
Is that to have it installed
It was
too?
very-
I don't know if they use cement.
No, it
No,
wasn't.
it wasn't installed.
But you know, I
There's
don't
no
know,
electric
Dave,
out
what do you
there,
know?
is there?
Well, we did the one for the Veterans Park, but we had volunteers install it. And I'm pretty sure that I could get you some veteran volunteers to help you install a flagpole. Should you be able to get the flag.
That would save some money.
That'd be
Yeah.
great.
There are also various places you should check into. I believe we ended up getting ours through the dairy. And they actually shipped it and delivered it right to the site for us, which they said they couldn't do, but they did for
We're
us.
not dairy or.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so there are a lot of really good resources even in the community without having to send real far away for one.
That would be really like helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would talk to the National Guard and see what they could do.
Yeah,
Find them.
With the raffle items, do you guys know the items that need to be on your raffle ticket in order for it to be a legal raffle within Wisconsin?
We
have to
talked to
go through.
Mr. Carson about it.
Yep.
And then, so we were like talking to him about it, and then Larson also like has done this before, so he like.
They can help you out,
Yeah,
okay.
can help us out
Cause
too.
you guys are gonna have to sell duplicate tickets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I guess I don't know if the leader would do that, cause they have
Yeah,
to have
they
the same, they have the same number on it.
no, they just.
But you guys, you said that there was like a range you wanted to do until the tickets sell,
Yeah.
but you'll have to have a specific date and address on the ticket for the drawing. So
That makes
you'll
sense.
have to decide a point whether you sell the tickets or not for that.
Okay.
So yeah, you guys could probably do what, one of two ways, either. Have it sell out as many as you can, or just decide to do it till February 2nd or 15th or whatever, and then whatever money you make. you
Yeah,
make,
the draw
and then-
date has to be set on the ticket.
On the-
It can't be
Okay.
changed.
Mhm.
Those are just the state.
But that's,
fundraising rules.
they have to get that approved through the administration anyway, the ticket, so.
Oh, that all sounds
All right.
good.
Great plan,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Guys,
Have a good evening.
you too.
too.
And next we have. I'm not gonna try to say it, I'm sorry, I can't. Marissa.
Oh.
Marissa. Choir, I can't say that.
Willett?
It doesn't look like that.
Willett?
Looks like Willett.
Willett?
I get Wolt a lot.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna say it wrong, so I'm just not gonna say it.
It's fine.
W, it's W.
That
Thank
would
you
work.
so much for having us here tonight. I'm very happy and excited to talk about these two really, really great choir students who had the amazing opportunity to perform with the high school and middle school state honor choir this past October. The process all started back last year when Gail approached me and said that she wanted to audition for state honors after seeing how much fun Lola had with the opportunity. So she auditioned back in February in Eau Claire, and she heard back around March, April, that she was accepted into the Wisconsin State Honor Choir. And there's over 1,000 kids that audition throughout the state of Wisconsin in grades 9 through 12. And only a select few get into these, either a mixed choir, a treble choir. And so it's a really great opportunity for Gail as a high school student to be a part of this. And then Evan is my first middle school student that auditioned for state honor choir. And due to a snowstorm that happened, his audition ended up being virtual, which in itself can be really nerve-wracking and scary, because if you go back and listen to a recording, you pick out all your mistakes that you have. But he was a really good sport about it and did really awesome. And a couple months later, we found out that he got in as well. And this is a really great way for our Siren kids to be able to travel statewide and beyond, and to be able to showcase their voices with other students in the state of Wisconsin. It's also great for Siren as a school and as a community to get our kids out there and get our school name out there, and it gets them in with more diverse students and more diverse directors, and this opportunity has been really great for them. And so I asked them if they would share a little bit about their experiences at their camps this summer and in October at the actual conference. So Gail will be going first.
Okay, to start off, I just want to give you guys like a huge thank you for funding this. This was such an amazing opportunity to go. When I found out back in February that I was accepted, I was ecstatic because it was kind of nerve-wracking in my audition. There were over 1,000 kids auditioning, and I'm coming from a little small town, Siren, Wisconsin, and there were girls there that had like private vocal coaches, big high schools, and I was just super excited to get in, and was even though I had to be the schools gonna be funding it. So a big weight off my shoulders. And going to the camp, it was so much fun. It was lots of practices and preparations and very exhausting at the same time, but I met so many new faces, got so many new friendships, and made like long lasting memories I'm gonna remember throughout my life here. And actually a couple weeks ago in October, the performance was definitely something I'm gonna remember forever. I am never gonna get an experience like that again, given I had an audition sooner, but I'm so glad I was able to go because of that. Performing the Orpheum, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous, we rehearsed in there. And honestly, with all these friendships that I made with these girls that I met there, it was so good to be able to see them and practice with them, converse with them, sing with them, make music with them one last time. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And so on my way there, I just slept the whole time. I just slept.
Where was
And then
that?
It was in Madison.
Madison.
Yeah, and when I got there, signed in, they gave me a shirt. That was pretty cool. And then that day was pretty much, I had to go to the one choir room, and then we practiced for I think 6 hours. And then we went back, ate lunch, then practiced for another 2 or 3 hours, and we went to a hotel. I made 2 friends.
That's great.
Yeah, I made one. He was in my hotel room, my only roommate. And then the other one, I met him last day. He was pretty creepy. I'll show you guys some of it and stuff. I didn't. And then second day, we ate breakfast, rehearsed for about 3 hours. And then we went to do our rehearsal stuff before the concert. Did that, went off, and then we actually performed after. And that was, wow. That was crazy. Yeah, everybody sounded great. Yeah.
Don't lock your knees.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Just one last thing, seriously, thank you guys again for allowing these 2 students to take part in this opportunity. And I already registered Ileana Savage for an audition in February for high school honor choir. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have another one going this year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to stay.
We let you leave now.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thanks, good night, you guys.
Thanks for coming.
All right. At this time, looking for a motion to accept the Moms for Kids donation.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Jamie to accept the $845 Moms for Kids donation for the elementary field trip to see the Grinch. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the anonymous donation for DLC supplies.
One second.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly, to accept the anonymous donation for DLC. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Okay.
Opposed? Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
We just need a motion to accept.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept. treasurer's report. One second.
A motion by Jamie, seconded by Kelly, accept the treasurer's report. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. I have two things, but one of them I'm not prepared to talk about because I just got it as I got here. And we've been approached by something called the Association for Equity and Funding to join their organization, but I'm not prepared to do anything with it until I look into this organization a little bit further to make sure it's a legitimate organization. And since I just got it tonight, I obviously haven't had time to do that. But I will look into it and let budget and finance know what I find out, and we'll see if it's something that looks like we want to do it or not, once we get some more information on that. The other thing is a state convention in January, and I've talked to you guys about this a couple of times. I really highly recommend that those who can go to it do. Do we have any members at this time planning to attend the state convention?
That's in Milwaukee.
Yes.
What's the time frame? Like, do we drive ourselves? Like,
No.
'cause I know there's like a game like around, it's like what, Wednesday through Friday? Do we need to stay the whole time? What do you recommend? What's,
If you can stay the whole time, I do recommend it. You learn so much at that convention, to be perfectly honest.
basically, if it starts
but if
Wednesday,
you-
you need to be down there Tuesday?
We usually went down on
I
Tuesday.
think Wednesday was the pre-conference.
No,
No,
Tuesday's a pre-conference.
Tuesday's
Yeah,
pre-conference.
because sometimes the board would wait and go late on a Tuesday prior to my being on the board. They would wait until after the basketball game and they would drive down there at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't advise that. If you cannot make the whole thing, if you can make part of it, we try to, if anyone who's going at the same time frame, we try to use a van. If people are just gonna go for a day or whatever and take their own vehicles, that can be worked out too. We just have to know because Lisa has to register everyone and she has to know who needs hotels.
When is it?
It's January
I think.
17th through the 19th. Yeah,
Yeah.
but 16th is the pre. I'm planning on going. I just put in for vacation for work. So
Yeah, I'd like to. Do we have an agenda on what? I thought.
Yeah,
I
it's
put
all
the
online.
agenda On there.
didn't
And
get
you
the
can go
postcard in
on.
the mail?
I did, and I've looked at it, but I feel like last time I looked there, I don't know that there was an agenda. It was something,
Oh,
or
yeah,
maybe I
it's-
was waiting to
Yeah.
talk to the board.
So
before
there's
I-
an agenda, but it breaks
Okay.
out. So like at 8 o'clock in the morning, there's like a general speaker and everyone goes to that and listens to that person generally. Then it breaks out into breakout groups and you can choose any group you want to go to. And there are tracks if you want to follow a certain tract, like a finance tract or a referendum tract,
Yeah.
or you can just pick and choose which classes you want to go to. I've done it both ways. I think I've gone 3 times. I know I did the finance tract once. I think I did the referendum tract once, and then the first time I went, I just went, or the last time I went, I just picked, what I wanted to go to out of it, because I'd been to a few and I knew some of the speakers by that point, and I knew which speakers that I wanted to listen to. But I would, if you can go, I do highly suggest it. The other thing is, part of the conference is there is a delegation. So school districts across the state submit resolutions. And these go to a board, kind of like a Congress type. And so we submit a delegate, and the delegate goes, so they have to leave. They don't get to go to everything they want to. They have to report during certain times. And these resolutions that are selected as the top resolutions are brought up and you vote on behalf of the district. So we are required to designate a delegate.
Doesn't mean you have to go. It's just-
Correct. When we don't have anyone going, I just say I'll do it and then we just don't go and we just don't get to vote. But we have to have a delegate. That's
The
the rule.
delegate then gets those sample resolutions.
Yes.
They get them in advance.
So generally speaking, the delegate would get a packet and it would say what every resolution is. And then you kind of read through them, and
Sounds like Katie T. won't.
a lot of times you can take it like to Kevin and just say, what is the district stance on this particular thing? Would this help us? Would it hurt us? How do you think?
Mhm.
Because he knows a lot more, especially if it's a funding resolution. We took one resolution ourselves a number of years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago.
Mark was our.
Unfortunately, our resolution didn't make it, but we did put a resolution forward. We just weren't selected.
It's quite a commitment, though.
It is a commitment of time because there are, like, the first night, there's one. I think Tuesday night when you get there, you have to register actually in person and you get some more paperwork. And then there's certain times you can't go to the breakout sessions because you have to meet
Mhm.
for that. But we are supposed to designate one person. Well,
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, if Katie's the only one we know for sure is going, then we would need to probably designate Katie, but
I'm interested in going. I need to look at the kids' schedule because I know we got basketball and see if it'll work for me.
Okay,
I would only be able to go a couple days anyways if I did go, cause
couple of days is better than none.
Yeah, I mean, if you can.
Well, that's-
I mean, you can learn a lot in a couple of days.
Well, I mean, it's only 2 days, but I mean,
oh,
I
I
think he
thought it was
means
the
2 days.
16th through the 19th.
It is.
Here, show Dave, show
17,
the
18,
Dave.
19.
I would only be.
You get done at noon on Friday.
Yeah. I think they-
So it's all day Wednesday, all day Thursday. You're done at noon on Friday. Tuesday is, you don't have to go, but there are
One
some
of those.
pre-sessions.
So
So it's really Wednesday and Thursday are the
okay,
2 days
'cause
you
I
really
couldn't-
need to be
'cause I
there.
couldn't go Friday if I went,
Right.
cause I got drill.
Oh. So,
Well, I was thinking we're gonna be there more.
I can go the whole time, because I'd be off. I don't know
I
yet.
don't think. I don't have to be on the whole time.
And then I hate to have a first timer be delegate, especially.
well, I know, but everybody
Well,
here is
we're all
gonna
the
be a
first
first
timers
timer.
Except for Peggy, and if
You
Peggy don't
lose the whole
go.
day, you lose the
Yeah.
whole couple.
Well, that's my point is I'd almost rather appoint someone who's not there as the delegate and not
Can you
vote.
still
Yeah.
Be the
Oh,
Yes,
delegate?
because
Okay.
that's my point,
Even though
because
you're not.
if
there.
you
So I
wanna
thought you
take a
meant you
track-
Had a sense, you had a delegate, the delegate had to be someone who was going, but no.
No,
Oh, well then, yeah.
we just don't get to
Why
vote,
don't you-
but
Peggy, you might be the one to submit a delegacy and then
yeah.
you could look at some of them, because you already.
I know.
Some resolutions.
Kelly, have you gone?
No one on this board except for me has ever gone.
Well,
No, Tom's brand new. He obviously hasn't been.
would you go, Tom?
I have to really look at this schedule.
Yeah,
It's a
we're all.
commitment.
Listening.
Well, the fact that it's down in Milwaukee, you know, that it's not
Milwaukee's
just,
a
you know,
ways.
even if it was Madison's closer, so it's like, okay, how many hours on the road?
It is, it's a hike.
What else is going on?
I'm thinking.
I mean, I'm interested. I think we talked about last year about, and I don't.
Yes. And
I think
I
it's
just
hung up
think
on
if
us
you're
when we were
gonna,
talking about-
if you're gonna stay on the board, if you have the intention of staying on the board, you really need to do it because it's the only way you're gonna learn half of this stuff.
Well, you're just talking right out of getting out of the board. It's fun on that.
All right,
All right.
so we need to nominate a delegate for the state convention.
Well, I think we stick with Peggy. I'll second it.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's fine, if that allows me to be able to go to the other stuff.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's better.
Okay. So we have one nomination.
And I second it.
You don't second a nomination.
Second
You
it.
do it because you know I hate it when you do that. All those in favor,
Aye.
opposed, motion carries. You can go ahead and submit that so that it's taken care of for the state requirement. Then,
And then Lisa, you want us to let you know by December,
December 15th was early bird registration.
Yeah. so the earlier the better because of the hotel
Yeah,
situation.
December 15th.
We'll
But
get, we'll get 3 or 4 rooms. We can.
Yes, I think you,
Okay.
yes,
Want one
Okay.
room, so.
I think rooms are already like,
the room should already be available.
they're already booked.
oh, you, that's,
Well-
she's saying your
My
book.
group people are already saying, is anyone giving it up?
Oh, so I will tell you what we did the last time when we went, Kevin and I. It's at the convention center and there's a hotel, obviously as part of the convention center, and there's another one connected. What we did was we just went like 4 blocks down the road and we stayed at the Loft. Which-
The one that I went. You went to.
Yes, and so it was a little bit of a walk and it was a little chilly a couple days. There is a bus too. But it was way easier to get a room there than in the convention center.
There are-
And they were
Like,
cheaper.
The ladies and
Yeah.
other admin assistants are already saying, does anybody have any rooms left?
Oh.
You want my 2 rooms? I'm giving them up there. There are.
Yeah.
But I'll,
And then when we went, so like Kevin and I went, we had like 5 of us went the last time. We would meet up at a certain time if anyone wanted to go to dinner as a group. If you didn't want to, you obviously aren't obligated to. If you go as a group, the van is provided. If for some reason you have to leave early, go late or whatever, you can drive, mileage would be reimbursed. So it is. I mean, your meals are reimbursed at whatever the rate is for that.
Usually if we have the credit card, if we're all together. we
Yeah,
pay.
so like we usually did at least a dinner together.
If we go, are you one of you, is someone administration going?
Typically I.
Kevin would normally go
Typically I
with.
Go, so I'd have to can do that. Yep. I mean, I have gone to most of them.
Yeah. When COVID hit and they did away with it, we kind of got out of the habit, but I would recommend anyone who plans to be on the board for any any amount of time whatsoever. You can learn a lot more in those 2.5 days,
Usually they have them once a year, right? It's not.
once a year.
And Laura went with us. the one-
We took Laura one year. I think she's the only staff person we've taken since I've gone.
Yeah, I suppose.
All right, so if everybody wants to think that over, check their calendars, let Lisa know if you're going to, so that she can go ahead and get you registered at the convention. The hotel rooms, if you just want to book like 4 rooms or whatever, and we can cancel them, they let you cancel last minute, so it's not a big deal if we have to get out of them. Okay, so let's move on to the Building, Grounds and Transportation Chair.
We didn't have any motions, just talked over
Okay,
the items.
you have something on here tonight about steps?
Yeah, it would
You-
just wasn't a motion, it's just,
Okay, just gonna talk about it when we get to it?
yeah, just
Okay,
informational.
all right, budget finance, we do have a couple things that will come up later in closed from budget. And policy didn't meet this month. So, Kevin,
Oh, just a couple of fundraisers. So NHS was here tonight. You saw their presentation. And then the girls' basketball will be doing coffee and popcorn again, as they've done in the past.
oh,
And then,
the sales you mean?
yes,
Not,
girls'
okay,
basketball. And then, band choir, they do their fruit, meat and candies that they've done. So once again, that's informational for you guys. So, you know.
okay. Mrs. Herman,
A lot of events coming up. We have, as you heard in the donations, we have the Grinch play coming on December 6th. Most of you have kids in the elementary, so you know about it anyway. Moms for Kids donated the money for all of those tickets for all of our students. We also reached out to Burnett Dairy and we were able to get cheese sticks for all of the kids going, so 170 cheese sticks. And the reason we're doing that is the kids are going to the play first and then eating after. And it's a long time and a lot of them are gonna be hungry. So we've got some snacks for them so that they're gonna eat on the way down, and we're looking for protein rich items. So great experience for our kids. We're not taking any parents. What we're doing is, because so many of the classes, we're only gonna have kindergarten in the building that day because pre-K is off that day. So we have a lot of staff that are going, and they're going as staff members, not just for and with their own kids. So they might be assigned to a different grade level, but they're looking forward to it, the staff too. A lot of them have said, I've never been to a play before. And so everyone's getting pretty excited about it. We have Nicole Mercer, the DLC coordinator, has some amazing ideas. And she is taking the girls on a field trip on December 11th. And they are going to Northwood Tech. and they are going to get manicures. And they're going to get their hair cut and styled, whatever their parents allow. There'll be a permission slip going home for the kids. So the students over at Northwood Tech will be working with our students, so kind of a fun little opportunity.
Is she really only gonna open up to the girls though?
Her and I talked about that. She was gonna take the girls initially because it was the manicures and everything. She said maybe at a later date should do the boys.
So would the boys not have that or someone else be in school?
The others will be,
Just
they'll
to hear
still have
about it.
everyone, yeah, yep. Christmas program is December 14th, K2 is at 1:30 to 2:15. And grades 3 through 5 are 2:30 to 3:15. Did I say that right? Okay. Pre-K is having theirs, but for some reason I don't have it on my calendar, so I'm not sure which day they're doing theirs yet.
I have a question about the buses and the field trip. So I remember with the bus contract, each grade gets one field trip, so will this be their field, so they won't have a spring field trip?
No, all the grade levels, they had their choice if that grade level wanted to do that. Some of the other field trips, for instance, our 5th grade, when they go to Mille Lacs, that's funded by different sources, so they would still probably be able to go on that trip. So it just depends on the funding for those field trips.
Okay.
Yep.
Any questions? Okay. Jamie?
Well, we had a very successful Veterans Day program here on November 10th. We wanted to commend our student body. We got quite a few compliments after the fact about how well behaved they were this year. And so a lot of our staff kind of had some meaningful conversations about the importance of it and respect and things like that. So we were impressed with them, expressing our gratitude for our band and choir as they really helped make that a successful event. We had a really great speaker, Morgan Shetler, a Siren alum, who came to talk about her experiences in the National Guard. That was really well received, especially by the student body as well. So the year before we had a more veteran, and then this year we had kind of a newer, younger one. So it was good to see both sides of that perspective. We had one county winner for that VFW Voice of Democracy essay contest, as second place was San Andreas. So that was great. I know we've talked a lot about bullying issues and things like that. And so just kind of informational where we're at currently this year with bully reports. We have had 9 so far. At this point last year, we had 7. So we're up a couple. We had 6 that were from middle school students and 1 actually from an upper elementary student who found the bully report and was able to use that. So we turned that over. And then 2 from high school students, and all of the students were contacted, discussions were had. All of them did seem to be conflict related. We have not come across any that are ongoing or perpetual things that are continuing. Nothing like that has emerged from our bully reports.
I will tell you that I spoke with several people after the Veterans Day program. I'm sure you're not shocked to hear that. Brent, they were very impressed with the selection with Jackson Gerber reading. They were very impressed that that was something they'd not seen before at a program. So they like that. They were also a little bit surprised about the Morgan Shetler, but they found it fun because it's so different from what they experienced 50 years ago. So I think the older generation really did like the program this year more than I've had them.
Like Olivia told me, it was interesting because sometimes there's no because there was pictures.
Yes,
of things, so
yes. I think that it was better for the student body because there was a video to go along with it. And it kept their attention more, but I was kind of surprised, but several of the older gentlemen expressed how much they enjoyed it too. So good job, everybody. Any questions? Okay, then we will go on to Denise. So we have 5 special ed students and 1 student with a 504 plan that were eligible for ACT accommodations. Those have all been submitted and approved, so we're ready to go for March for those. And I got an email earlier in the month from DPI. Every year we have opted to participate in the Indicator 14 survey. So Indicator 14 is one of our special ed indicators that talks about post-secondary or post-school outcomes. And so our students that graduated 2 years ago were called over the summer to find out what they were doing their first year out of high school. Were they working? Were they in school? Kind of, they have criteria that they have to meet. So for the 21-22 school year, we had 9 students that graduated. So they tried to contact all. They actually had 5 that they were able to connect with. 2 of those students did not meet eligibility criteria, but 3 of them did. And so once again, in June, we will be getting a check for $2,695.
So what makes them meet the eligibilities?
They have specific criteria. Part of it goes back because it kind of goes back and looks at our transition planning for our special ed students. And I don't know the specific criteria right at the top of my head. I can find it.
That's okay.
But they ask them, you know, are they in school? Are they continuing in school? Are you in a job? Is this the same job you've had since you've been out of school? Some of those kinds of things.
So like if they're in school or maintain the same job, they
Yeah,
kind of meet those
yep, and
criteria.
make sure, you know, they're not like job hopping and all that kind of stuff. We want to make sure we're preparing our kids for some consistent either training, on the job training, schooling, even if they're going right into the workforce, that they're there with a consistent job that they can support themselves.
Nice.
So. That's all.
Any other questions? Okay, Tara?
Hello. So in your packet, you will see that we received the American Indian Language Revitalization Grant from the Wisconsin DPI. It's a little bit less than it has been in the past, and I think that is because they had a lot more schools apply this year. I think we have 4 or 5 schools that work with St. Croix kids who have received this grant. So we're excited to get working on that. We've got some kind of different ideas than we've done in the past. And then not on the agenda, but I just wanted to let everybody know that St. Croix Falls had their first ever powwow, and I brought 5 middle school and high school students to dance. And then Miss Tanya brought, I think she had 8 elementary students there to dance. So it was a really good chance for our students to share their culture with a different school. The kids were so well behaved and very interested. And I could see that our kids were very proud to be able to share that with them. And that is all I have.
Questions for Tara? Thank you, Tara.
Thanks, Tara.
Thank you.
All right, so at this time, I am looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the October 30th meeting.
I'll make the motion to approve October 30th.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Kelly, seconded by Katie to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. New business, library plan update.
Wonderful library. First off, I'm going to apologize for all the typos in this document. The actual plan is the digital form that I believe Lisa shared with you all.
I have it on my desk.
Okay, so
One
then
needs to see it.
at the end of the day, she said, oh, can you whip up a quick summary so we have something to look at? So, yeah, I threw this together. Like I say, I apologize for the typos. We did meet both goals from the first one that we did a couple of years ago. That was working on the 3 to 5 curriculum. And whatever the first one was. So this year, the 2 goals are working on the K2 curriculum. And we need to compile a list of resources that all the teachers can share together. We seem to find when we meet with our technology committee that some teachers are using this and some teachers are using that. And
this teacher doesn't know that we have that resource available. So one of our goals this year, before Renee leaves, is to help put together a comprehensive list of all the digital resources that we have for teachers so that they all can share them and everyone knows what we have. Those are the two goals for the next 2 years for this plan. Okay, as far as updates in each of the wedges, that's each section here talks about them pretty thoroughly. Professional collection, I had up to date until Renee brought me some more this morning. So those will have to be added in there. Nobody really uses them. I have all kinds of books in my office for teachers to use for lesson planning and discipline and all kinds of different subjects. They're not used, but we have them and I try to promote them. But it had been a while since a complete list had been done up and sent to the teachers, so that will get done, okay? The new Badger Link website. I went on it over this last summer and I had no clue what I was doing. It is so different and so changed that I was lost. So they do offer an online training course. So I will be taking that and practicing with it and playing with it. And then I will present a tech session to the teachers, especially at the high school level, so that they can use it. There's a lot of good resources in there for high school students, especially when it comes to learning, using primary sources rather than surfing the web and that kind of thing. We are up and running with our Destiny Discover catalog. I was going to pull it up. I didn't know. Yeah, if you wanted 2 screens up. It's just a more fun card catalog for the kids to look at, you know, not like the one you have at the public library that just has that screen and all the blank colors. It's got colorful icons on it and they can make collections. I have a collection of elementary horror stories so they can pick on that and choose, and they can make their own lists of books they want to read. They can put books on hold. They can read some ebooks, which works great, but we didn't have enough ebooks. So then that was the next thing that we completed. We have finally got Sora into our system. That is the online system that the public libraries use. So we can dip right into there and there's like 100 million plus ebooks and audiobooks. I have it on here that I was going to start that in January, but we actually started it with 2nd and 3rd grade today, showing them how to log into it on their computers. And it's going to take some glitches because I can't get into Clever because I don't give grades. So hopefully we can get it worked out with Jessie. Someone said today that she can do a district-wide Clever thing. Okay.
Yeah, we just have to put you into Power School.
Okay.
In order to assign you as a resource teacher and then we can.
Okay, because I did the Clever training and Jessie couldn't get me in.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just showing them how to log in on their own, which they'd have to do if they were at home on their personal device anyway.
Yeah.
So we started that today and the kids seem to like it.
Do you have a link to Sora on our webpage?
Not yet,
Okay.
not yet, but Jessie has it, so it should be in your waffle on your Google Drive.
Okay.
Right now on their Chromebooks, that's how I'm having the kids access it. Okay. Use of space and time, not much there. I'm still having trouble with our shelving. The new shelving is beautiful, but it's not practical. I have several spaces here and there where shelves have busted out because the wood they used is too soft. And there's little tiny pins that go in those tiny holes. And when they bust out, it splinters the wood underneath it, so that hole is not able to be reused, and it's just, yeah, so I still have some ideas. You see, we're running out of room for our easy nonfiction books, so they have some.
Can the woodworkers do we have a woodworking shop, right? Would they be able to make use of them? In fact, Mr. B? See some of our students are in.
Well, he made the secondary shelf for me here, this one here. The tech class made that for me last year. But it seems that every time another shelf breaks, I'm just where I'm trying to figure out how to.
But can he repair them?
If the wood splinters underneath the little hole, not as well.
If you put in a spacer.
Yeah, you can put braces in.
Put the whole, they just wouldn't be adjustable anymore.
Well, they're not adjustable now.
Yeah, but a whole piece
Because
of wood underneath.
Those little holes were supposed to be all the way up and down.
Mhm. I can see
And
that.
they're not. So if a shelf breaks, I can't just move it down a section.
I bet some of those kids
can
would like
brace
to.
Yeah.
All you need is put some.
I bet some of those
Yeah.
kids would like to learn some critical thinking. I bet they would come up with some good ideas.
I think
I had to do it at my pantry at home.
Bust it out.
Oh, my.
So we're working on it, we're working on it. Okay, and the data and privacy wedge, another thing that I want to get together with Renee with. We need to make sure that all of the digital resources that the teachers are using do comply with the privacy. Oh, is that the word? I know she had started on it, but since she is leaving, I figure it'll help if she's not the only one who has that information. So I'm gonna work with her to make sure that we both have it. And then it is then part of the library plan. That way it'll always be there available for whoever needs it. Okay. For partnerships, we have been working with the Webster Public Library for a few things. The most exciting one coming up is the pop-up library. Cheryl Summer up in Webster received a grant to get vehicle and supplies to do a pop-up library so she can go to the schools like once a month or something and have kids check out books. And then we would just have them return them here with me. And either she would come pick them up or I would take them back up to her when they were returned. So I'm excited for that. That'll be good. Curriculum and instruction, I'm just gonna continue and switch my focus from 3-5 grades to K2 grades. And that covers it. And Dr. Shetler, Ms. Herman told me a few minutes ago, she thinks she's the one who's supposed to upload it into DPI,
Okay.
not you.
Okay,
Okay,
but we do need to approve it here at the board level.
right, it does need to be approved before it's uploaded.
Can I ask you about
Yes.
the battle of the book? You usually come up with those, so you choose the books that are part of that? or
No,
they-
no.
Cause like, I know this past winter, whenever it was last year when they did it. I remember looking, and maybe you don't want this, but like, I feel like the kids, the resources available, like. They can get their hands on a book, like I know sometimes they're waiting for a book to be turned back in here.
Mhm.
It's it's fine if they get the book somewhere else.
Absolutely.
So like, I know we were up at Webster with like the one librarian was like, I don't know anything about this, and I tried to remember to bring her a copy of it, but I don't think I ever actually, I think my daughter ended up throwing it away before I actually gave her. So maybe that's another resource you can do with Webster
Okay.
or like Frederick and Webster, maybe send them the list and maybe it's something they can do a display whenever we have the battle of the books.
Awesome.
And going on, maybe, something, or just let the other, like the kids know of there's other
Very good
resources,
idea. I
or maybe
checked
these
it
are books we
otherwise.
can get as ebook.
Some of them are available.
Just so the
as
kids
ebooks.
have
We just wanted to
multiple.
know one
The
day.
battle
I've never heard of it till
for
this
us
year.
is done through WebTech.
Okay.
So it's a list that the entire Wisconsin uses unless they opt out and do their own. But if they're doing the actual Wisconsin Battle of the Books, the book list does come from WebTech.
Okay.
There's 20 books on the list and I can only afford to order
Right, yeah, right,
three of
well-
each. But that's a good idea to let her know what those books are. I hadn't thought of that.
Are they available on your ebook program?
The ones that are available on ebooks are, and in fact, the Sora. When we were looking at it today. I saw a carousel on there that said Battle of the Books. But I didn't have time to look to see if it was the actual WebTech one or if it was just another side one. So I do have to double check that, but I'm hoping it's the
And Frederick
WebTech
is
one.
a
I'm
different
hoping it
library
is.
system, right, than Webster? Do you work with the Frederick library system at all, or much?
No,
I'm just curious.
No, I
know you-
tried, but. No, I just Webster's.
No, and yeah, we're
Webster's the
all-
one I go to, so I
Well,
know her.
I think that the problem with the Frederick one is they're a different system, and if Burnett
Yeah.
County kids go to the one in Frederick, Burnett County has to pay for per book that every person uses out of their library.
Right,
And what's
they're
Grants,
more
Grants or something?
Grantsburg is Burnett County, so we can use Grantsburg and we can use Webster for free, but every time you go to Frederick, the county gets charged.
Shell Lake, Spooner,
Yeah, all those we get charged. The county
No,
paid,
Shell Lake and Spoon
40
are
something.
northern.
it doesn't, they gotta be
Because
in
the
our
library is outside of the county has to pay per item
checked out.
checked out.
Oh,
Last year it was
They
like $50,000. They had to pay
County
to another
itself,
library.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So if someone from,
It's a lot of money out of the.
if
county
someone from
budget.
Frederick comes in and checks out a book in Webster, then
Polk
Polk County has to pay Burnett County. There's an
Yes.
exchange to fund the county library system, or to fund the library systems.
Well, that doesn't seem very nice.
I never.
So.
Saying I shouldn't be
typos
checking books
aside,
out
were there
mothers.
any other questions?
I mean, we use Frederick.
We needed a motion.
For what?
So we need a motion to pass.
Yes, it doesn't need to be a.
Oh.
So I'll make a motion
Like, you
to,
do have the full one digital.
Yeah.
one that-
to approve the library plan.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Katie, seconded by Kelly. Any discussion?
Well, we have that already.
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Concessions. All right, this came to Budget and Finance. We have a complete listing of duties that are done from concessions, and they're done the whole year. From beginning of football right through the end of track. And you can see there the current schedule of what is being paid per year and a proposed schedule. So I will make a motion that we update the schedule for concession duties effective this year.
This fiscal year?
This year, right now, 23-24. It's school year based. So that's my motion.
I second it.
Motion by myself, seconded by Dave. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Jackson Concrete, this one's on you, Katie.
So we finally got what looks to be all the costs that we can anticipate involved. This would have ramps coming up both sides and 12 feet of steps, 10 feet of steps in the middle instead of the 22 feet that are there.
Okay,
So it would be some sidewalls and steps down the middle, 2 ramps and the railings, and we're up to $81,000 to do all those things.
This also includes the sidewalk.
That's right, the middle school sidewalk and the band one, which, so those are at the bottom there. The 6,300, so that could be pulled out when we look at actually approving this for going ahead with it in the.
and this would come out of the maintenance budget?
Right.
That's where we're.
And how much money has been budgeted out of the maintenance budget for the?
Not enough to do this now.
Oh, okay,
Not for
okay.
this year.
So typically at the end of the year, Laura will kind of update the committee on maybe what might be in there or left
Mhm.
from the winter, you
Mhm.
know.
Snow plowing is a huge factor, right? So you
Yeah.
know it.
And utilities and that, and, you know, we've also got some boiler concerns coming.
Yes.
So that's kind of where that comes from. And I guess I was just talking to the committee, like, is this something we can do? I know it's not something we can do piecemeal. I mean, we
Right.
could.
It would, yeah, it'd be a mess.
So,
And I mean, all we started with was trying to tighten up the railings, which are
Right.
tightened up right now, and then the one ramp, which is got some gaps in
Issues.
it. So I know this has gone up astronomically from the first initial bids that we got from them, but I knew it would when we started looking at the railing and whatnot that's
So
available.
we couldn't do it until summer anyway, because obviously the
Yeah.
building would have to be
Yeah.
closed
a
during
lot of
the.
times what we've done is she's had money where we've done parking lots, and we've taken each one expensive item each year and tried to use that.
Mhm.
So I don't know if this would fall within that category. We did talk about it a little.
Or I've done where half comes out of, like, say.
Yeah, we've done it. We're half out of
Yeah.
each budget.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, so
We'll just-
today this is just for
It's just
information, is
for
that correct?
information, yeah.
Because this quite honestly looks like the best plan that we've had so far.
Yes, yes. it
I mean,
does
it's a
look
lot of
good.
money, but
It's a
it's
lot of
way
money.
better than
Yeah, and we,
anything else we've seen up to this point.
we've talked on the committee as well about looking at just what would having someone come tell us how we could update all around landscaping wise, so maybe it's something that we look at putting together with the rest of how we update the outside of the building.
Okay.
Mhm.
Board docs training dates.
So this is just to keep in mind as you're picking your dates for the next month to add on a little, about an hour of extra time for your board doc training.
We do them
In
during
December,
meetings?
are we talking about? I'm sorry?
Yes, December, and we were looking at doing them separately in committees.
Oh,
So I think he wanted it broken down that way. But there are people on multiple committees, so you wouldn't have to necessarily.
stay for the training.
Stay for the-
Well, I probably would, but the rest of you probably wouldn't.
So I guess he's saying it's an hour. So it's an hour. So
Okay.
in addition to our meeting.
Okay, so we just need to know that when we set up our meeting calendars to add an extra hour for training. Okay, now my next question, because that takes us right into this. Calendars.
Mhm.
Lisa, are you gone just the 2 days or are you gone the whole weeks?
No,
Are
we're
you?
just gone the 2 day. I'm just
Okay.
having cataract surgery, so
Okay,
basically, you know, 5.
because here's what I'm saying, we're not gonna do it the fourth Monday.
With the Christmas.
Yeah, we're not doing it the fourth Monday because it's Christmas.
What's after the concert?
So we would need to look at the monthly meeting first, because we're going to have to move the monthly meeting.
Yes.
And so, it's really hard with sports this time of year too.
The 18th is typically when we would do it
Correct.
in past years.
Would we do it with Lisa being out or we? want
Well,
Lisa-
we could have Liz fill in for the night and record it. The problem is we can't do really Tuesdays and Thursdays because of sports.
Mhm.
And that doesn't give us a whole lot of other options.
Unless you don't want it on a Monday night, I guess you know.
Tuesdays and Thursdays are basketball nights, and that cuts out at least
Wednesday?
3 of our people.
Conflict with church Wednesday, or do people, can you guys get away?
I can,
Katie works on.
but that's
Yeah.
just me.
Is Liz's daughter in basketball? I think so.
Yeah, and I don't know if she would do it anyway, so.
Well, one of us can jump in.
Well, I'm sure we can find someone who can take minutes for the meeting. We'll make it work. Let's look at the 18th. Does the 18th work for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll move the monthly meeting to the 18th. That means we only have 2 weeks to fit in everything else. But here's the deal. So I'm assuming buildings and grounds does need to meet.
Yes.
Okay. Buildings and grounds people, tell me what works for you all.
Well, we have it set on there for the 14th at 3:30, which would be just right after the Christmas.
Okay, I have it at 3 on my.
Well, I know it says 3 on there, but we adjusted that to
Okay.
3:30 when school was in session.
Oh, okay.
Can you all do that? Tom, can you do that?
So it'd be like 2 hours.
3:30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom, yes?
Yep.
So
Jamie, yes? Katie, yes. So building and grounds, 3:30.
we have Katie, Tom, and Jamie.
Yes.
Okay, that's one. group.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that's a home game, right?
no, it's at Grantsburg.
That's middle school.
Oh,
Winter.
Is it at Winter? or-
it's at Winter. I think.
I can't tell. how
December 14th is here.
When they're
Winter.
Here, thanks, friend. Okay, so yeah, that'll be fine.
No,
if
Jamie,
it's here.
Okay.
Say, if you want to keep in mind, because you can float between committees, because you.
To do
are-
that.
For the training,
For the training part, like the meeting would be at
training
3:30 to
Oh,
4:30.
because you're on more than one
So
training.
then I need to be in here till 5, plan to be in here till 5:30.
And
If you do your training that night.
Yeah,
Or you do the training another night.
so if you, when we pick another date, if you want to fall in and look at that one too, I don't, you guys can all.
Okay.
Well, do we need to do a policy meeting this month? Cause I'm also on policy.
We do.
Okay. Can we do,
So
And the regular school board's at 6, correct?
correct?
I had on my calendar for that budget meeting on the 18th as well. I think when we,
For what?
for the budget. and
Oh, yeah, we
I think
never
at
said
one
that.
point we
You
had
guys
a.
do, oh,
a
you can't,
set.
can you do, or during the day on the 13th or Wednesdays, or you're out all, I don't, never mind, you're not on policy.
Yeah.
Who's on, are you on policy?
No,
You, me, Kelly.
Yes,
Does the 13th work for you, Kelly, or Peggy?
The 13th?
Just a second. Or the 4th? What works for you, Peggy? I think we need to try to do it when Lisa's here. I think it'd be easier than try to do it the 11th.
for the training, you mean? Yeah, I agree.
Well, I mean, I'm not just worried about the training, I'm also worried about getting our policy meeting. Like, do we have to do these trainings in December, or since December is a shorter month, so we just look at doing the training in January?
I don't know, I didn't speak to the guy on that. What was the?
I mean, we can do it in December. I'm just wondering with everything else we're trying to get in.
I can do the 13th.
I'll still do it on.
Okay, so the 13th is available. Yeah, I think we need to do it.
Okay. Does the 13th work for you, Peggy? What time can you meet? Or how early can you meet, Kelly?
I work till 4.
I can't do before 4:15 anyway, but if on the 13th, can you do 4:15? Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. That I won't, I won't stay for training that night though, because I can't stay that late on a Wednesday.
So
So I'll do the meeting, but I'll have to do the training with the budget group.
And I can come to the budget if, otherwise I think the buildings will work the next night.
Okay.
Cause the game's home.
But they'll have to be, because that's the only committee Kelly's on, so Kelly's gonna need to do the board docs training that night,
And that's okay with
She
you?
came
You
to a
got
different-
2 hours?
unless she wants to
Just come to a different time.
Yeah, I don't have the kids that night, so.
Okay.
Okay,
So.
she'll learn the best because she'll be by herself.
There you
having it. But on Wednesdays, I
Pat's
can't.
birthday, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Pat's 18th birthday, so I don't wanna.
But you'll
I'm
have some
along
flexibility if,
Oh.
once we. pick
Because you have the 2
But
nights to
she's
pick
got
from.
practice.
Okay.
And she's got
My
practice.
mom got
till
me a
6.
staple.
So budget. I'm guessing that we won't have the treasurer's report in time. Because that's really early
Want to do it on
For what?
Christmas.
for a budget meeting.
That's basically how I'm hoping.
Should be able to that second week.
Okay,
I'll be gone.
When?
have
training When?
in there too somewhere, but I don't.
I have training out west all next week from the 9th to the 14th, so I can do it on,
okay, but so we'd have to do budget the first week of the month.
yep, I'm cool with that. Or Christmas.
Christmas is after the regular school board meeting, so that will not work.
Or before the school board meeting.
I'm open on Christmas.
Oh, that same night, you mean?
Yeah.
My kids only do.
But there won't be time for the training then.
And they take naps.
And Lisa's out
It
that
would be
day.
just aside for the training.
Lisa's not there that day.
Yeah, no, she won't do that. No, I can do it on you want to do it on the 4th? Are we still looking at Monday?
I can do the 4th or the 5th.
I'm open on the 4th.
Okay, so Lisa won't be here on the
But I don't know,
4th.
it depends on what time.
Oh,
Training, she needs to be here.
okay.
I have Jess's in honors choir for the first time ever, and it's her concert that night, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to that.
I can do it the
So I don't
5th.
know what time I'd have to leave here by, but.
And I have my stress test one of those 2 days, so I won't be here.
I can do it on the
Just
5th.
do the
I can do
meeting
the
as
5th
part of
too.
the stress test.
We can stress you out.
So what about Wednesday the 6th, or is that Wednesday?
Wednesday,
No,
I think
Tuesday, the 5th is way better if it were
Yep, I can do Tuesday the 5th.
at 4:15.
On the 5th,
If your stress test is that day, you let us know. We'll have to move it because you got to be here for budget.
Unless she zooms.
on the 5th. 4:15.
Yeah, but, okay. So budget is 4:15 on the 5th. Policy and planning is 4:15 on the 13th. And buildings is 3:30 on the,
I'm just trying to catch up.
Okay,
with the monthly meeting at 6 o'clock on the 18th.
so we have budget.
I don't think Christmas would have been a good
Hang
idea.
on, just hang on a second.
What?
I think I've got it.
I don't care.
So let me just make sure I have everything. We got buildings Thursday, the 14th from 3:30 to 5:30. Budget Tuesday, the 5th, from 4:15 to 6:15. Policy, the 13th from 4:15 to 6:15, and regular on the 18th at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right. It's the hardest part of the meeting. All right, approval of the bills. Do I have a motion to pay the bill?
Make a motion.
Okay, I'll second it.
A motion by Kelly, seconded by Katie. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Items for board signature. Do we have any?
You know,
What about my,
She did the vouchers. What about contracts?
what about my contract?
Don't I have 2 contracts to sign tonight? Okay, they don't have to be on agenda. I can,
Stop by?
yeah, we can come sign them.
Office.
No problem.
I'm sorry, I didn't know they had to come.
I'll be here tomorrow to do the ad.
No, we just have to sign them. We're all here tonight, so it was just an easy time to do it. Okay. So at this time, we'll convene a closed session under Wisconsin State Statute 19.85(1)(c)(e)(f)(g) to consider the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Considerations of financial, medical, social, or personal information, and to confer with legal counsel who is rendering oral or written advice. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Dave, seconded by Kelly. Dave, please call the roll.
Tom. Here. Amy. Katie.
Yes.
Peggy.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Dave. Yes.
All right. Yes.